Howdy folks, thanks for joining us in part 2 of our 7-stage water filter build. Overall, it was a pretty fun project and I hope you enjoy. Okay folks, so we got this thing put together and just a quick overview. Water comes in from this end where we just have a standard garden hose hookup. That garden hose will run to a shallow well pump that we've got with a little pressure tank and everything. We may cover that later. Then we've got a valve. Then we got the Rusco spin down filter and another valve. And remember, this valve configuration, if you close both of these valves off and then hook a hose of clean filter water up here, open this valve, it'll then push water back through down the Rusco, the inside of the Rusco, and give you that true back flush. And then you open this valve down here and bam, it'll wash all the sediment and everything out of the filter and back out of the system. Open your valves back up, close this valve, and you are good to go. Then we go into our 4 stages of sediment and charcoal filters, our carbon filters. Remember, we've got the pressure gauges on the outflow of each of those to let us know when those filters are becoming clogged. We then go into our Dalton candle ceramic filter, which is the 0.9 micron. This one did not have a pressure gauge on it, so coming out the other side we installed a pressure gauge to let us know the overall system flow coming out of the filters, and it'll also tell us if this one is becoming clogged and needs cleaned or replaced. We use standard PEX connections to hook everything up. We then came up into this system, and here we've got a valve. This valve basically acts to shut off our UV system. So right now I don't have the bulb and the quartz sleeve inside of the UV system. We'll put that in there once we get it to the property. I didn't want to risk breaking it or anything in transport, but this gives us the ability to bypass this system by shutting off this valve. We turn off the UV system, and then it would come through this pipe and give us a spigot down here. This spigot, of course, would just be water that comes through all of the 6 stages of sediment and carbon filters, but not UV treated. So still pretty good water, and actually is considered potable after it goes through the ceramics. So good water, but not UV sterilized. And the only time we would really do that is if for some reason we had a problem, like a leak or something, that our sleeve broke or our bulb went bad. It really just bypasses it so we can get a new one in there, but it still makes the system functional if it's taking you time to get replacement parts or whatever. We do have some spares, but you never know. Anyway, when you're passing through the UV, that valve would just be open. Water will come through the UV, and then we've got a spigot on the other side so that we can open that and have just a standard garden hose hooked to that, and then that water will run out and into our RV. So that's kind of how we're looking at as far as the frame and everything. We think it came out decent. The only thing I'm not completely satisfied with, remember I have a tendency to over-engineer, and this board that I put on there, it was just a cheap piece of wood that I found at Lowe's. I can't even remember what it was for, but it was a 1 by like 18 or something by 6 foot long, and you know, it was a cheap piece of wood, cheaper than plywood. But the problem is that when they say 1 by, you know, nothing you buy is truly 1 inch, even though they say so. It's only 5/8 thick, and with that being 5/8 thick, it does have a little bit of flex to it that I don't like. So probably what I'm going to do to remedy that is I'm going to take it all off, take it down again, and then I'm going to weld another piece of this 2x1 steel to the back. That'll go right along the bottom of the board here. So if you look at this area here, I'll basically run a board across the bottom, and then I'll be able to screw that board to that extra piece of steel, and that should give it a lot more strength. And other than that, we just need to put the filters into the containers and then flush them. So when you put in a carbon filter, you do need to flush those before you use them. Run some water through just to get that loose charcoal carbon out of there, so that's not going into your drinking water. So we will put those carbon filters in, flush them out individually, and then we will also flush our ceramic filters so that when we do get this up to the property, we are ready to rock and roll, and we don't have to waste any rainwater or our precious resource up there. We'll already have this thing flushed and ready to go, and that's it. So hopefully you like this video, and if you did, be sure and you know, click that like button, and also if you could please subscribe to our channel, and you know, let us know if you're liking our content. We appreciate any support we get, and that of course encourages us to keep trying to deliver good content to you guys, and you know, share our journey as we do all this stuff. So thanks again for watching, and have a blessed day.